Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to Gratitude Happy Hour, the show that talks about how to heal emotionally after trauma. And trauma could be anything in your life that's disruptive. So, we have a great discussion today. I'm Teri Angel, your host, and I have with me my guest, Jeryl Anne. Hi, Jeryl Anne.
Well, hello, Teri.
I'm so glad to be here with you. And we are going to talk today and give you some tools of how to deal emotionally after you've been through some struggle, some challenge in life. And I think pretty much we can all resonate with that right now, right? So before we do that, before we get into this conversation, I want to just share some announcements and just say how grateful I am to Enlightened World Network, to speak up and empower, and to sign for helping us out in broadcasting and sharing this out to the world so that more people can see it and more people can know that you're not alone. None of us are alone right now. So, the more positive energy, the more tools, the more tips we put out in the world, then we're going to be better able to handle whatever comes our way. So right now, I want to share about Enlightened World, and it's something that I'm a very big part of, and very happy to do so. Every week, I come live on Enlightened World Network and share this show, Gratitude Happy Hour. On Wednesdays at 5 o'clock, Gail Goldberg comes live on Enlightened World, and she brings a show called Divine Relationship Recovery. And I'm so thrilled to be a part of that show as well. And then this weekend, on Saturday at 6 o'clock, we will be doing Come to Dinner. And that's with Enlightened World Network. We're inviting you to bring your own dinner and come virtually and sit with us at the table as we eat and share a wonderful conversation. There's no agenda, there's no topic. It's just like sitting around your dinner table at home. And whatever comes up in conversation is what will come up. You can join us on Zoom or you can watch it virtually on the live stream and share in that way and type in the comments. We're excited to be offering this. It's the first time and the first experience. And we really are hoping that many of you will join in with everyone feeling so isolated and separated right now. This is a way to bring the world a little closer together. So join us in our world as we do that on Saturday. On Sunday morning, we're going to start live streaming at 9 o'clock Eastern Time on Sunday morning. And that live streaming will go on all day long. Every half hour, we will have a different person presenting something. It will either be a meditation, it may be a healing, it could be just a teaching. And Jeryl Ann will be there. She's going to offer a water blessing, which is so needed. And that day is World Water Day. So we are doing our part in blessing the water and sharing with you how you too can get more involved in blessing the water in our world, the water that you drink, the water that you use to bathe and to shower in. So join us on that show as Geraldine comes on Sunday, along with many other wonderful guests. During that day, we'll be doing two silent meditations. We will be doing the first one for individual healing and the second one for planetary healing, which is so needed right now. And that's what we're going to discuss today. So thank you for joining us. If you think that this show is going to be worthwhile to listen to, please stick around and share it out. Share it on your timelines. Just hit that share button. Sharing is caring. And if you care enough to bring some positive into the world, then share this with as many people as you can on your timelines and your groups and your pages, and just let people know that there is good a good experience waiting right now as we hold a discussion about what can we do. You know, Geraldine, many people that I've spoken with are feeling like they're out of control. There's nothing that can be done, that the world is in a spin. And that's what it feels like. I felt this about a week ago. I woke up and it felt like an earthquake inside of me. It was just like so jittery, and it wasn't me, it wasn't my energy. I was feeling into the energy of the collective all over the earth, and people that were starting to go into that fear and panic, and then the things that ensued after that, the hoarding, the um, just wanting to know what was happening. Our worst times are in the unknown.
Yes.
When we don't know. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what this is. We've never encountered this before.
Well,
Right?
Teri, that's the crux of this. I mean, we've all faced, you and I were in Florida, we've faced hurricanes. I faced tornadoes in Illinois, floods. I mean, all types of natural disasters. But this is unprecedented. I mean, we're writing, it's a new book. I mean, we're creating a playbook as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
And people are concerned because it's not just about the virus, but we have never seen globally the shutdown of businesses and transportation and going in and out of other countries. This is something that we are sharing globally, which is completely different as well. We've never had a global pandemic ever in our memory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But so what's happening is none of us do know. We don't know what's going to happen economically. We don't we don't know if we're going to have a job. We don't know what's going to happen to our 401ks. I mean, I'm hearing everything. And I was in a Walmart last week when this first started to really erupt here in the United States, and the panic and the conversations I was hearing, honestly, that scared me. That's what got me all, kind of jacked up. And then now today I had to go get prescriptions for my parents and get some, groceries for them and that. And I noticed that today people are calmer.
Mm-hmm.
They're not hoarding. They're and in fact, this one lady and I were reaching for the same thing, and she goes, "Oh no, you take it." And I said, "Oh no, no, you take it." And
Wow.
I mean, it was. I know I have God bumps from head to toe. It was a completely different environment. And so I want to say to everybody out there, I am so proud of everyone that is keeping things in perspective. We're not saying it's not bad, but being in fear and panic is not going to change it. It will only add to it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what I noticed was when people are not in fear and panic, the whole environment of the store was completely different. The energy was different. It felt different. People were actually trying to smile at each other. It was kind of like after what we experienced in 9/11.
Yeah.
We were we were kind of lifting each other up. And I go through the store kind of like a goofball, with this big smile on my face, and I say hi to people. And I think that's really important more than ever, that we we put on our best face. We have compassion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that we're in denial. It's that we have to offset the fear and the panic with good energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as light workers, that's what a lot of us are doing. I know you with Enlightened World Network, you guys are just blowing the doors off with daily meditations and all these different things. And it's so important that we all participate in the smallest way to bring calm to people, and a smile,
Mm-hmm.
just a smile and a nice word. Thank you to the pharmacy lady, because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, thank you for being on the front lines, thank you for being right there and not being too scared to come to work. Because when and the cashier, thank you for not being too scared and calling in sick, because we really need to have pharmacy and groceries and water and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it begins with just some of the most simple little things.
It does. It does. And just realizing that everybody's going through this.
Yeah.
This is something that we're all experiencing. And it's interesting. I've had several conversations this week, online and offline. And one of the best ones I had was about the fact that this is global. All of us are experiencing it at the same time together. And so that brings us to a different level of awareness that, hey, it's not just me. I'm not just feeling this. I'm not just feeling out of control or wondering what's going to happen. Everybody is. And when we do that, when we look at the big picture and see that we're all in this together, then we can begin to show more compassion. We can begin to say, oh, that person's maybe just as scared as I am about what's going to happen with this. And so then we can begin to breathe and to calm our energy down, because Jeryl Anne, we have studied together.
Yes.
And we have studied with Heart Math Institute out in California. We both learned a wonderful technique, and we'll talk about that. But one of the things that came forth from that lesson that we learned, the class that we took with Greg Braden, he explained that Heart Math Institute has been charting the frequency of our planet for decades. They've been looking at the energy that's being put out by us as individuals and how that frequency fluctuates as we go through our different experiences. So I used to say, what can I do? What does it matter what I do? I'm only one person. How can I make an influence? How can I impact anything? And I learned very rapidly from Greg Braden that each of us makes an impact, because with our energy, we are either adding to the positive frequency or we're adding to the low vibration frequency. It's one way or the other. So as we lift our vibration, as we learn the tools, and we'll be sharing a few tools in this broadcast, as we learn and utilize those tools, we're making an impact. We are changing the frequency of the whole planet. And if more and more of us know what to do and actually add to that high frequency, it will raise the vibration of the planet. So I was so thrilled when I learned that.
Yes.
Because I always felt, I'm just one person. What can little me do? Right?
Well, and here's the thing I love about science. You and I have both been on this spiritual path for about 35 years. And when Teri and I first started out on this path, and we spoke about it in another show, this was all woo-woo, or, just kind of this airy-fairy kind of stuff. But I love the fact that now science has caught up with our woo-woo. They're proving that our woo-woo is not, it's real. It's, it exists. So we are part of a collective consciousness. Everything is an energetic grid that each and every one of us contribute to. So oftentimes what's happening now, Teri, is the fear sometimes that we're feeling is not even our fear. It's somebody else's fear. And the collective fear right now is what a lot of people are responding to. So individually, and I ask this thing the same, I ask this all the time, what can I do? And I came to this place, and I tell people this all the time. It starts within. As we change within, and it doesn't matter if it's just changing the emotion of fear, is as we grow, as we heal the traumas, as we heal those things that we've carried around with us, that energy adds to the collective consciousness. And so I can't control Teri. Teri can't control me. We want to sometimes, but I can't control anyone else but me. So if I am a good global citizen, if I am a good spiritual citizen, then it's up to me to heal those aspects of myself and to keep myself in check and to use whatever it takes to add positive and light to the collective consciousness. And I've hit my moments here. Teri came to the river here a couple of days ago, and I was in this really good space, and then all of a sudden I don't know what had happened, but I know what happened. I never read the news. I read the news. I thought, I have to be educated about this. And I read the news, and I freaked out. I mean,
She did.
I did. I freaked out. I was going, oh my gosh, you know, the sky is
Yeah.
falling. The sky is falling.
Yeah.
And she said, just shh, calm down. You need to watch the grid thing. And it really didn't last very long. But I came back to my center and realized, okay, I don't want to add any more to the insanity out there. I want to add more, add calm. And so I went to some of my tools. I meditate. I actually go out and we sit by the river, and I just, you know, I just talk to my higher self. I go within my heart and I talk to myself. And there's a lot of other tools we can do. So that's individually, we make all the difference in the world as to what we're adding to that collective consciousness and that energy.
Yeah. You know, Jeryl Anne, I had a guest on last night. I was on Angel Heart Radio. And one of the things she mentioned as a tool is that we have choice. We have a choice.
Yes.
How are we going to look at this? What's our perspective going to be? And we can choose, just as we do every day, we can choose to see anything good that's happening out in the world, or we can just focus on the sky's falling. Everything's so bad. Everything's really awful. And we're not diminishing this because this is a pandemic. This is spread globally. But what we can do is make a choice that we are going to add to the solution by our attitudes, by remaining in that calm state and not buying into the fear. This will pass. This will pass. It's not something that's going to be with us forever. They are already making inroads into figuring out what it is and how to get a handle on it, how to control it.
Right.
So the more that you feel into that and start finding some of your safety and your security again, then the more your energy will calm down. So to do that, you really have to find that center, connecting with Mother Earth. If you can stand on Mother Earth at all, if you can stand in the grass, stand on the ground, wherever you're at, just for a few moments, and feel that energy coming up from Earth, that will help bring you back into balance. And balance is what's needed. We're very much in a state of imbalance right now.
Yes.
It's like everything's tilted right now in one direction, and it needs to come back up to center. So the more each of us can start to do that and finding that center within us, then it will start to shift the energy, and we'll all start to feel that settle again, to come back to center. We're going to teach you some things. We're going to teach you, first of all, the heart-brain coherence.
Yes.
And we did this on the Meditation a Day today. So if you watched that show, you're already familiar with what we did. And we're just going to cover the steps of it and have you experience it as we explain it. We're not going to take a lot of time to go into a meditation, but this is a tool that you can learn so easily. It's going to take us less than 5 minutes to teach it to you.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's something that you have, and it's something that is so phenomenal. And it was developed by science, by Heart Math Institute. What they did, they actually did the research, and they went to the monks, they went to the yogis, they went to the people that maintain that calm state, that calmness, that peace of mind, of heart. And they're like, what do you do? What do you do? How do you get to that centered place? And this is what they came up with. It's called heart-brain coherence. And they actually have, in their research, they found that our heart fires neurons just like our brain does. The heart is actually our big brain. We always think it's the one in our head, but it's not.
No.
It's the one in our heart. And once we get the heart and the brain talking and coming into a coherent state together, then we find that centered place, don't we, Jeryl Anne?
Absolutely.
Would you teach how to do
I
this?
would absolutely love to.
Great.
Yes. We learned this. Teri and I are both what they call an ad heart facilitator. So when we were studying at Greg Braden, workshop, he talked about the ad heart experience and the heart-brain coherence. And so oftentimes we have this kind of disconnect between our head and our heart. And what this heart-brain coherence technique does is it brings you into a state of balance, into a state of harmony. Use it, and right now, I don't know about you, but this is one of the tools I use to kind of decelerate myself from getting caught up in the mass, panic. It releases over 1,400 chemicals in the body when you do this, when you go into coherence, and that gets it overrides the adrenaline and the cortisols and all of that fight and flight. And so you're connected, you're centered, your heart is the seat of your soul. And so by going into heart-brain coherence, you're connected to your heart, you're connected to your soul. And that's where you can get centered, and that's where, you can get calm, really calm. So, okay, it's 3 parts, very, very simple. It's breath, focusing on the heart, and emotion. So the first thing we're going to do, we want to focus on our heart. And we're going to make that connection. So we focus on our heart. Place your hand on your heart, just a couple fingers, whatever, just so that you can keep your awareness here in your heart. The second thing is the breath technique. We're going to breathe, inhale to the count of 5, hold it in the brain to the count of 3, exhale to the count of 5, hold it at the heart at the count of 3, and it's inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And you're breathing, as you're doing this, you're breathing through your heart up to your brain and exhaling down from your brain out through your heart. Heart to the brain, brain to the heart, okay? The third component is to place yourself in a state of gratitude, compassion, caring, and be in that state. You may think of a memory that really gave you great joy, or just, and right now you can think about having compassion for the world and thinking about sending love and compassion and caring to everyone on the planet right now and helping them. So those 3 components, we're focusing on the heart, breathing in up to the brain and exhaling, all the while holding the emotion of compassion, gratitude, or caring. Okay, are we ready to start?
Yes.
Teri? Okay.
I'm already there.
I know. She's an old hand at that. She's been doing. She's a pro. She's a pro. I know. We do it all the time. Okay, so everyone, close your eyes. Okay, and get centered. And I want you to take a nice deep breath into the count of 5. So we're inhaling from the heart. 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding. 2, 3. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding. 2, 3. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Holding. 2, 3. Now go ahead and continue to breathe on your own. Inhaling on 5, holding for 3, exhaling on 5, holding for 3. And just keep that compassion, caring, and gratitude first and foremost, breathing into your heart, to the brain, and from the brain down out again through the heart. We'll do that for about 2.5 more minutes right now. That wasn't quite 3 minutes, but come on back, and I'm sure you can tell the difference. And as you're doing that, and you can do it for longer, you can do it. I know people who meditate and they do it throughout their meditation for 10, 15, 20, a half hour, whatever, and continue that breathing. But say you have a question, and most of us have lots of questions right now. What do I do? Where do I go? How do I, I don't know what to do. When you get into that state of coherence, you're connected to your heart. You're connected to your higher self, that voice. And so ask your heart a question and just say, heart, please tell me, what do I do about this? What do I need to know? And it will come through. We've done this before. Yeah. So I don't know about you, but we just did it before. I am just blissed out right now.
It's a good place to be.
Yeah.
It really is. So, and as you see, it doesn't take long.
No.
In 3 minutes, you go into that higher brain state, which at the moment is the highest brain state that they have charted, called the gamma state.
Yeah.
And there's so many benefits for being in that state of mind. You have super focus. Everything just is so clear to you when you do that. You're actually going into a state where your body starts to repair and starts to heal.
Yes.
And we all need this right now.
It is actually, it's an anti-aging technique because it does heal the body. It does repair the body. As I said, it releases 1,400 chemicals in the body. They're good stuff, good chemicals. If you want to know more about this, go to heartmath.com. It's the Heart Math Institute, and you can become an Ad Heart facilitator, or just if you have more questions and really want to know, I know I have friends who want to know the science behind it. They want to know what's really going on in their bodies. Go there. They have global meditations. They have these where they do this coherence globally, and they can measure the resonance of the planet. And so it makes such a difference. What we put out there is what's added to the group consciousness, the collective consciousness, and it really does make a difference.
It does. So add some positive into that soup.
Yeah. Yes.
We're all floating in that soup together.
We are.
So,
yes, we are.
So I want mine to be positive, and more of us that are adding to that ingredient of positivity, then the better we're going to feel.
Yeah.
We're going to sense that difference in our emotional state. Like I said, last week I could sense the turmoil, but right now I'm sensing the peace. And it's probably those of you who did this along with us that I'm picking up on. So it really is a wonderful tool. Every week I try to give you something, some way that you can say, oh, I remember that I was taught this. And you can reach in there and grab it and use that, hold on to it and use it. And we're going to share a few other things today that you can do. This has helped me tremendously over the years since I learned it. I went through a very traumatic time last year, and all through that experience, I remembered to breathe. I remembered to think of something very positive. And as I was going through, I'll call it the fire, because I consider that to be any time we're challenged, anytime we go through a struggle, we're being reshaped. We're being just really burned to the essence. So as I was going through that fire, there were days when I would catch myself not breathing. And we do that, don't we? We hold our breath. And I think right now we've been holding our collective breath across the globe.
Absolutely.
So when you remember to breathe, and then like this technique that was just taught, you remember to add in some positive so that you got positive coming out, positive going out from you. It really does make a difference. And I had asked people to make me laugh. I said, just make me laugh. I don't care how silly it is. I don't care. Some of it was raunchy. I'm like, I don't care. I just want to laugh, because laughter is the fastest way to raise our vibration.
Yes, it is.
It does it instantly. So people were sending me funnies. They were sending me jokes and funny pictures and, just constantly making me laugh. And it made such a difference in my journey that I went through. And I know that I went through it with ease and grace because of all the support that I had.
Yeah.
Well, we can support each other during this time. We can make each other laugh. We can tell each other jokes. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Um, yeah, we're going through something that's really horrendous for all of us. But the more we lighten up our energy, the more we're going to go through that fire with ease. And we'll look back on it and see that experience as something we learned from. And we learned how to deal with that. And we're stronger for it. I'm stronger for what I went through. I am not that same person that a little over a year ago was told that I had breast cancer. I'm not the same person that had the surgery and that came through all of that I had to go through. It does change us. This is changing us.
Yes.
And I was so in a state last night where when I was talking to my guest on Angel Heart Radio, the words just came out of my mouth. And I know that it was inspired words. And they said, what we are going through is a reboot. The whole world is going through a reboot right now. And if you know anything about computers, when they start to act up and they're not running correctly, you just have to reboot it. You have to shut it down and let it come back up. And then it's like a fresh screen. It works right. Everything goes smoothly. So we have been at a place where things weren't running right, were they?
Right.
The world was in so much turmoil. There was a lot of fighting and hatred and a lot of bullying, all kinds of things that were taking place in our world.
Mm-hmm.
So this is our time to have a reboot and to come out fresher from this, to come out in a way that things are working right again, that we can continue to see each other when we come through this fire. We can look at our neighbor and see that neighbor as somebody who's been through the exact same thing we went through. I can look at Jeryl Anne, I can know that she experienced this right along beside of me. Mm-hmm. And somebody on the other side of the world, my friends over in Australia, they're going through the exact same thing that we're going through. Mm-hmm. All of us are. Mm-hmm. So after we go through this struggle, this challenge that we're faced with, we can have new tools. We can have a new respect for each other. Absolutely. A new way of honoring the life that we are given here on Earth, and really bringing something new, birthing a new planet, a new Earth into being. Absolutely. By what we learn, don't you think?
I agree, Teri, 100%. Yeah. The word that comes to mind that just keeps popping up is bonding. Mm-hmm. We bond through and I brought this up about 9/11 earlier here in the States when we went through 9/11. It bonded everyone. Mm-hmm. Everyone was united together. We are bonded globally now. Yeah. I mean, I have, like Teri, and this is the thing about Facebook. We all have our friends that are in New Zealand and Australia and England and, Scotland and Ireland, and I mean, Belgium, just all over the world. We have our friends all over the world. And right now, guess what? This is the first time, and I've been around since the beginning of the internet. This is the first time that we are all sharing something collectively. Mm-hmm. In one form or another. We're all going through this. And so it will bond us in a way that we have to let go of our differences. We have to let go of our judgments. We have to let go of all of that, because at the end of the day, we are all going through the same thing. And so we'll get through this together. And if we are all putting out, no one's in denial here, but it's not that you deny it, it's that how we choose, like she said earlier, we're choosing how to go through it. And we're choosing to bond with each other. We're choosing to support each other. We're choosing to have compassion for each other and to be there to support each other, just like we did here in the States with 9/11. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, everybody came together, and it didn't matter what your politics were. It didn't matter what your religion was. None of that mattered. None of it. And it's the same thing here.
It is.
And I'm sorry to say that this is how it had to happen, but I think every single person in the spiritual community, at least everyone I know, has always been saying for the last decade that things have got to shift. Things have got to change. Well, guess what? We just got what we asked for. And that's what's happening to us now. So, we can do those things. Like I went out, my mom and dad have had a normal flu, not the coronavirus, for like quite some time. My dad's 90, my mom's 87. And so I don't want them at the grocery store. So I went and got groceries and prescriptions. And we can do this. Reach out to your neighbors. I know that we're all kind of quarantining ourselves, but those of us who are healthier and stronger and not at such a high risk, it's going to bond us in a way that, and I have to tell you, it was really tough for my mom to give me her grocery list because she's one of those A-type ladies that does everything. She's 87 and you'd think she was 27 because she never stops. But this is a time too. Part of our healing is to allow others to help us and to know what our limitations are, to also be respectful that if you have come in contact with someone who's traveled internationally, if you have come in contact with someone that you think is at risk or whatever, just bite the bullet. It's not permanent, and pull yourself back. Don't expose yourself to anyone. And we really need to be hyper courteous and conscious of each other at this time. And it's not just the energy in our thoughts, it's our actions. Our actions are so important right now. Like I said, when I went today, so many people, this lady and I were reaching for the same thing. And she said, no, you take it. And I said, no, you take it. And I was like, there was enough for both of us. But, we only took one, right? So it is that time. And that's, we're going to see kind of like that 9/11 energy on a global scale. And I have to say, that excites me. That really, it makes my heart swell up, because a lot of times it just takes this type of an event to bring everybody together. So I think there's some silver linings in this cloud that we really need to start focusing on, and take care of business. Don't be silly, but focus on the silver linings.
Yeah, because it's there. It's there. We have a choice. We can use our perspectives. And how do I choose to see this? How do I choose to come through this? Because we're going to come through it one way or another. So you can choose if it's going to be something that made you stronger and that made you more aware of others and show some compassion, or you can choose to stay in a negative state and the world is falling, the sky is falling, and everything is horrible. My friend Karen Palmer always says we can make our world a prison or a playground. Which do you choose? So I love that we do have the choice in how we live our lives. We make that choice every day. We might not think about it, but we're doing that. We're making a choice every day. Every day when I get up, I say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for another day alive. I shouldn't even be here. I've had so many traumas in my lifetime. I've had so many physical challenges. I've almost died so many times, I can't even count all of them. But I'm here. And every day when I wake up, it's like, wow, I'm still here. What can I do with this day? So it's our perspective, and it's setting an intention. This is another tool that you can use. Set your intention every day. How do I want to live this day? What do I want to accomplish today with this time that I've been given? I may not have tomorrow, but I have right now. I have this minute, and I can choose this minute how to live my life. Do I want to make an impact in the world, or do I want to just hide myself away and just let the world pass me by. So we can set an intention every day, use our power of choice and decision making, and get out there and do something constructive in the world and help others through this time. Like Jeryl Anne said, help your neighbors. If there's something you can do that they can't, maybe you have somebody that's handicapped that lives nearby. See if they need you to go to the grocery store for them or to pick up something for them that they're in need of. So there's many, many ways that we can show compassion and love right now in our world. And get creative. Go into your sacral chakra and open that up and find that creative force that's there and see what benefit you can be to others. There's a lot of volunteer opportunities. I know the Red Cross is revving up. So if you feel inclined to help out in that manner, see if you can do something. See if there's any way that you can volunteer right now to help in the world. Now, Jeryl Anne, I know that you had something else that you wanted to share, another tool.
Yes, there's the truth of it is we have all these great things. We need to maintain our attitude. We need to maintain the energy. But I'm going to tell you something. There are just those moments when you hear something or you see something or a thought comes into your mind of, oh my gosh, this could happen. And that energy comes back up again. Okay. So you might feel fear, you might feel anger, you might, you might have this overwhelming sense that you want to cry. I know that some of the energy that's happening are those people with, say, 401ks, retirements, because the stock market is really like, I don't even know what word to put to it because it's so insane. But when you do find yourself trapped in those emotions, there are ways. One of them, of course, really quickly, and I think everybody knows how to do it, is tapping, EFT. Our good friend John Thaddeus Fiore, he is like one of the best tapping facilitators that I know. And he and I went to school together. So he's worked with me over the years, and he's amazing. I love to tap. I do it a lot. I'm a practitioner and tap EFT as well. But he is amazing. So if you need somebody that's really can guide you and you have some real issues coming up around this, John Thaddeus Fiore is your guy. He's your go-to guy.
See, John, we told you we were going to talk about you today.
We did. And I said, I'm definitely going to talk about him because he is one of those guys that really knows how to help you through trauma and help you through this. He's also like all of us, he's experienced a lot too. And, we need to reach out. We need to support each other. We need to help each other. We need to do these things. However you can help someone, just listening to someone. But here's another one that I want to try. I thought we would do today. It's called reframing and anchoring. It's a neuro-linguistic programming technique. Like tapping, it's really simple. I use it in place of tapping. Say I'm doing hypnosis or something and something comes up within that. I don't want to do tapping because it kind of takes them out of that hypnotic state. So I want to keep them down. So we do reframing and anchoring. It does the same thing as tapping, just in a different way. So everybody can resonate to different things, whether it's tapping, whether it's breathing, whether it's medication, but this is reframing and anchoring. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick everybody out there. I want you to pick an emotion that is right now that you're feeling around this whole global pandemic. If it's fear, anxiety, anger, overwhelming grief, maybe.
Type it in. Type it into the comments. We've got Facebook up and running. So type in your comments so we can see, because we want you to really get this.
Yeah.
And to get it, you need to experience it.
Yeah. So I want everyone to, I want you to feel that emotion. Okay. Then after you've kind of tapped into that emotion, I want you to measure it on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, I kind of am scared. 10, I am going into hyperventilation kind of panic. Okay. So 1 to 10. So put put an emotion, put a number on it. Okay, and let's park that right there for a minute. So we're going to start with that, but then I'm going to take you through this process. And on the other side of that, I want you to come up with a memory, a happy place. Some people have a place. I like to go out to the river in my mind and sit where I sit and meditate, and I look at the river and I look at the forest across the river and I watch the birds, and that puts me in a really good state. Some people use the memory of when a child was born, just one of their happiest, of marriage, when you were getting married, just some joyful or really beautiful memory. Okay, so I want you to all get that. We're going to just take a second to do that. And then I'm going to talk you through it. Now, is there anybody that has listed one in there yet?
Not yet.
No?
We're still waiting.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Because
Yeah.
I'm going to use myself, okay, as an example. So, but I want everybody to do this with their own. All right. So, Teri, do you have one in mind that you can? She's been so stable lately that I don't know if she can find one, but if there was a fear at all, like financial down the road, economy.
Yeah, that's where mine would be, is more of the financial aspect of what's coming. And again, I don't like to project. I like to stay in the now, but I'm also being realistic.
Right.
And so we're not saying to just totally bury your head about this whole thing. We're trying to find ways to help you deal with what's going on. And for me, that would be one of the things, is the state of the economy and how that's going to affect me.
So what emotion would you put to that?
It's not really fear. It's more just kind of unrest.
Okay.
And because right now, before Corona, we had a life before coronavirus. Before that, I was stable. I was like, okay, I know I've got clients. I'm a life coach. I know I've got clients and people that come to me for energy healing. I have groups that I do. So I was pretty stable in knowing that I had money to pay the rent. I had money to buy food, gas in the car. But now it's like, we're all in the same boat here.
Right.
There's people that are going to be out of work. There's people that are going to miss work that are not going to get paid for it. So we have to really look at realistically what is going on and how that affects each of us. So that would be mine, is that, again, that state of not knowing.
So some anxiety.
Yeah, some anxiety, more than fear, it's anxiety.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, really anxious or 1 not so much, where would you say it's at?
Probably about in the middle.
About a 5?
Yeah.
5 or 6?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to think of that. Now, everybody get their emotion. I'm going to go with anxiety too, about that. I'm also self-employed. So, I have the same concerns. So mine's around, when I really think about it, it's around a 7 or an 8 at least. Okay. So now, where do you feel that in your body? Do I feel it right kind of here in my chest, like right up here in my chest? What about you, Teri? Okay. So everybody find where you feel it in your body and place your left hand on that place. Okay. And I want you to just close your eyes, and I want you to breathe into that number, that 5 for you, Teri, 7 for me of anxiety. And I want you to breathe it in and just feel it throughout your body. I want you to really bring it up and really be in it, honor it, and be in it. Now I want you to remove your hand from your chest, wherever your hand was placed, and take a nice deep breath and clear your mind. Now I want you to go to that happy place. Go to that memory, that special place that you have, whatever it is. And when you're there, I want you to place your right hand on your right thigh. And just breathe into that memory and that feeling. And I want you to feel it in every cell of your body. Focus on that and only that. Breathe into it. And now remove your right hand from your right thigh and take a nice deep breath, cleansing breath, and just go neutral. And what I want you to do is place your left hand back on wherever you felt that initial negative memory, and your right hand back on your right thigh. And I want you to just focus on your breathing. Focus on the inhale and the exhale. Just your breathing. Now I want you to all remove your left hand, removing that negative anchor. Continue to breathe. And now remove your right hand and take a nice deep cleansing breath. Now open up your eyes. Now touch back in to that emotion that you were having. Where's that anxiety at for you now? It started at a 5.
It's down to probably about a 1 now.
Okay. And I would say mine's at about a 2 or 3, something like that. So what you can do is, at this point, we would have everyone, whoever I was working with, or if you're doing it on your own, you would put your hand back, your left hand back where you have that remaining emotion, and you would just focus on that remaining emotion and then release it again. About 10 seconds for each step. I did it a little bit longer just to kind of take you through it. And then go back to your happy place, put your right hand on your right thigh, and then release it, and then put them back together. Focus on your breathing, and then release any remaining negative feelings. And then release your right hand, and then breathe again. If it's like at a 1 or a 2, just take and brush it off where it's at. Brush it off. And I guarantee you'll probably be at a 0 by the time you get done. It may take a couple of rounds, but it's really quite impressive. It's I learned this. In fact, John and I both do this as well as the EFT. We learned it in our holistic life coaching school, where we both went to school. Do we have some
wonderful? Angie Taylor, thank you for being with us. Angie said that hers definitely dropped down from a 6 down to a 2.
Wonderful,
Angie. That's awesome.
That's great.
Thank you for sharing.
And where you felt that, Angie, since it's a 2, you could go ahead and just brush it off and see what happens. See if that helps. And if anyone would like, I can type up instructions or whatever, or walk you through it. I'd be happy to on Messenger, and just get a hold of me, because I love it. And these are the kind of things that we're going to have to do with each other, is reach out and say, okay, oh my gosh, I'm going through this. Reach out. And I love doing reframing and anchoring because it's been so effective in my life. And I would be happy to help anyone that would like to reach me on Facebook. I'd be happy to help you.
And I'm seeing 555 on my computer screen.
Oh my gosh.
And 5 is the number of change.
Yes.
We are definitely in a change state right now, a transformative state. And the more we can allow that, know that change is good. When we're changing, we're not stagnant. And when we're changing, we can choose that it's going to be a better state for us when we come through all of that. As we mentioned earlier, this tool that Jeryl Anne just taught us is huge in helping us to get rid of the negative vibrations and feel more into the happy vibrations. And what really does bring us joy inside. Our joy comes from inside. Our happiness comes from inside. It's not outside of us. It's not external. We react to what's on the outside, but our happy place is on the inside. And that's what we all need to feel into right now. That's what we have to remember, that it is there. It's on the inside of us. And we can tap into that with any of these tools that we shared today.
Yeah.
Any of them will get you to that place. Or use all of them. A combination.
Absolutely. It depends on where I'm at and everything else as to what I use when. And the beauty of now is that with YouTube and everything else, there are EFT videos. There's all kinds of videos in addition to what we do that can help you. So there's so much that we can do to come through this, but we just have to do it together. And again, we're not in denial, but it's how we choose to go through it. So when that fear comes up, when the anxiety comes up, it's grabbing onto it and going, okay, I acknowledge you, I honor you, but man, I'm not going through this in a fearful place the whole time. Let's heal this. Let's transform that energy, because what I want to add to the collective consciousness is not that. There's enough of that. And it's up to each and every one of us. And that's how we can make a difference, by changing our energy, because that's what goes out to everyone else.
Is.
Yeah.
Yes, this has been wonderful, Jeryl Anne. It's been such a great discussion.
Yeah.
And that's what I do every week on here. We have a discussion and try to offer you something positive that you can grab onto. Jeryl Anne, it's been a delight. And if people want to reach out to you, if they want to know more about NLP or the heart-brain coherence or anything that you have to offer, you have so much. Jeryl Anne's an energy healer and an Angelic Reiki Practitioner, soon to be a Master Angelic Reiki Practitioner.
I just got God bumps.
As well as a Reiki Master that she's been doing for many, many, many years, and a life coach. So a holistic life coach. So any of those things, if it interests you and you want more information, if you like what you experienced today with her, you may want to reach out. So how do they do that?
They can reach me at jerylanne.com. That's my website. And my Facebook is Jeryl Anne Heatherdale. I also have a page called Jeryl Anne. Like I said, I always tell everybody, it's really nice having a unique name.
Yeah, just like it's on the screen.
Just on the screen there. Yeah, that's me. That's me, Jeryl Anne. And just you can find me through that. And then sometimes when you bring it up, it'll say the healing heart. So just if you look for Jeryl Anne, you can't miss me. You really can't. So it was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Teri, for having me today.
Thank you. I loved it.
I love having you here at the river. She's here at the river with me, and we're just trying to. She's helping me. I'm helping her, and we're collectively with everyone that she's brought into my life, and I've brought into hers. That's how we're trying to make a difference, working at making it. And you can do the same. You all can come to the river, really. Yeah. I got plenty of room.
Come on down. And like Yoda says, there is no try, there is only do.
That's right.
So we are making a difference.
We are, yes.
And you can too. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I appreciate all of you that watched on Facebook, on YouTube, on Periscope. And if you got some benefit from this, share it out. Share it so others can see as well that there are choices, there are tools, and there's ways that we can add to the collective solution and stop adding to the problem. So let's do it. Let's just do it, right? It's time. It's time for us all to feel into our power and what we can do in the world. I love you so much, and thank you for tuning in. I'll be back again next week at the same time. And Jeryl Anne will be with me.
Oh, that's right. I'll be with you.
So we'll continue our conversation and have some new tools to give to you. Yeah. And I'm very confident that at that time, it's going to be a lot of different state of affairs in the world. So let's see what difference a week will make. Absolutely. And we'll see you next week. Love
Bye,
you,
everybody.
Jeryl Anne. I love you.
I love you too.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.